The next capital budgeting rule we are going to cover is called the internal rate of return rule, or simply the IRR rule. In this part, I will define the internal rate of return of a project, and then I will show you how to use this new concept in capital budgeting. That is, how to use the IRR to decide whether to take a project or to decide which project to take among the many you might be considering. Let's start with the definition of the IRR of a project. The IRR is the rate of return at which the NPV of a project is zero. Suppose you have the cash flows for a project. Let's call them C0, C1, C2, etc. The IRR is therefore the rate of return that solves this equation. I know that this sounds a bit abstract and that it might not be very clear from this formula what the IRR is intended to measure. To gain intuition, let's compute the IRR in a simple example. Suppose that you are considering a project that requires an investment of $100 right now. You believe that next period you will get $110 from this investment. This project has no other cash flows. To find the IRR, we need the rate of return at which the NPV of this project is zero. Let's start by writing down the formula for the NPV of this project. The first term is minus 100. Remember that this amount is negative in the NPV formula because it's money that you pay out. The next term is $110 discounted to today at some rate R. Because you expect to receive the $110 next period, we need to discount this amount one period to get its present value. Different levels of the discount rate R will lead to different values for the NPV. The IRR is the specific discount rate at which the NPV is zero. In this case, when R equals 10%, the NPV of the project is zero. As you can see in this example, the IRR is just the rate of return that you obtain when you invest in a project. In other words, it is a measure of the profitability of the project. We have just computed the IRR for a simple project with only two cash flows. However, you are likely to encounter more complex projects. For example, corporations invest in long-term projects with cash flows over many years. In principle, we could compute the IRR of these projects by hand, as we did in the previous example. However, with more than two cash flows, this is going to be difficult and tedious. In these cases, we use Excel.